What if I told you that in 2067, a person discovered that being completely human had become the world's most endangered job qualification? Today we're going to explore together this unsettling reality, where biological authenticity became a luxury few could afford. The gentle sound of rain will accompany us on this journey through a future that might not be as distant as we think. Before we dive into this disturbing story, if you're enjoying this type of content, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, comment below what affected you the most. Which part of the story left you most thoughtful? What theories do you have about this? Do you believe something like this could really happen? Now, dim the lights, feel the relaxing sound of rain, and let's begin tonight's journey together. You wake up in your small studio apartment, the rain gently tapping against your window, and check your phone for job notifications. The algorithm has found you another interview, this time for a position as a biological experience consultant at Neolife Industries. You laugh bitterly as you read the requirements. Must possess original human DNA, unmodified neural pathways, and authentic emotional responses. Previous experience with organic decision-making preferred. You dress in your best clothes. Actual cotton fabric, not the smart fiber that most people wear. The material feels strange against your skin, heavy and impractical compared to the climate-controlled biosuits that adjust automatically to your body temperature. But that's exactly why you're qualified for this job. You're one of the last few people who still experiences the minor discomfort of inappropriate clothing. The subway ride downtown takes 43 minutes, giving you time to observe your fellow passengers. Most of them sit perfectly still, their enhanced eyes displaying a soft blue glow as they navigate virtual meetings, stream entertainment, or process work data directly into their consciousness. A few have visible modifications, geometric patterns of silver circuitry running along their arms, or small ports behind their ears where they can jack into the city's neural network. The rain outside creates a soothing backdrop to the silent car, where verbal communication has become almost obsolete. You arrive at the Neolife building, a towering structure of glass and chrome that reaches into the cloudy sky. The lobby is filled with holographic displays showcasing their latest products. Upgrade your memory storage, eliminate unnecessary emotions, and join the collective experience network. You approach the reception desk, where a perfectly symmetrical woman greets you with a smile that's mathematically optimized for maximum comfort. You must be here for the biological consultant position, she says, scanning you with her enhanced vision. How refreshing. We rarely see completely unmodified individuals anymore. The waiting room is designed to make people like you feel comfortable. Real wood furniture, paper magazines, and even a small fountain that mimics the sound of natural rain. It's almost insulting in its obviousness, like a zoo exhibit designed to keep an endangered species calm. 3 other candidates sit nearby, and you can immediately tell they're as authentic as you are by their fidgeting, their wandering attention, and the way they actually look at each other instead of staring into the digital overlay that enhanced humans see constantly. Dr. Vance calls you into her office, and you're surprised to see she still appears mostly human, though you notice the telltale signs of selective modification. Her pupils dilate independently as she accesses information, and her fingers move in patterns that suggest she's typing on an invisible interface while talking to you. We need someone who can help our enhanced clients understand what they've lost, she explains, the rain continuing its gentle rhythm outside her window. Our research shows that 97% of modified humans experience what we call authenticity nostalgia, a longing for experiences they can no longer access. You learn that your job would involve demonstrating basic human behaviors that enhanced people find fascinating, getting genuinely tired, feeling conflicted about decisions, experiencing physical pain without immediately medicating it, and having thoughts that aren't optimized for productivity. Essentially, you'd be a living museum exhibit, performing humanity for people who traded it away for efficiency. For example, Dr. Vance continues, can you show me what it looks like when a human feels uncertain about something? You furrow your brow and shift in your seat, genuinely confused about whether this is an opportunity or an insult. Like this, you ask. Her eyes light up with fascination. Extraordinary. The micro-expressions, the inefficient cognitive processing, the way you're actually experiencing doubt in real time, rather than calculating probability outcomes. Our clients pay significant fees to witness authentic human behavior. The interview continues for 2 hours, with Dr. Vance asking you to demonstrate various primitive human traits, laughing at something that isn't logically funny, feeling sad about a hypothetical scenario, and even just daydreaming. something enhanced humans can no longer do since their minds are constantly connected to information streams. As you leave the building, walking back into the gentle rain, you realize the profound irony of your situation. You're potentially about to be hired for the one thing you never had to learn, being yourself. In a world where everyone else has optimized away their humanity, your refusal to upgrade has accidentally made you the most valuable product of all. The rain washes over your face, and unlike the enhanced humans hurrying past with their climate-controlled suits, you actually feel it. Cold, wet, uncomfortable, and absolutely real. 3 weeks into your new job at Neolife Industries, you discover the most disturbing department in the building: memory markets and authentic experience trading. The rain patters steadily against the corporate windows as Dr. Vance leads you through a corridor lined with what look like high-tech confessional booths, each one designed to extract and package human experiences for commercial sale. "This is where we harvest genuine memories from people like you," she explains casually, as if discussing the weather. "Enhanced humans pay premium prices for authentic emotional experiences because their modified brains can no longer generate spontaneous feelings." You watch through reinforced glass as a woman sits in one of the extraction chairs, electrodes attached to her temples, tears streaming down her face as she relives her grandmother's funeral. A technician monitors her brain patterns on multiple screens, adjusting settings to capture the purest essence of grief. The extracted memory will be packaged and sold to enhanced clients who want to understand loss without actually experiencing it themselves. The price list on the wall reads like a twisted menu. First heartbreak, premium grade, 50,000 credits. Mother's love, artisanal quality, 75,000 credits. Childhood Christmas morning, vintage collection, 100,000 credits. At the bottom, in smaller text, bulk trauma packages available for corporate team building. Your colleague Marcus, one of the few remaining unmodified employees, explains the process while the gentle rain continues outside. The enhanced humans lost the ability to form new emotional memories when they upgraded their cognitive processing systems, he says. They can access information faster than any human in history, but they can't remember what their mother's voice sounded like when she said goodnight. You discover that there's an entire black market for virgin experiences, memories from people who've never been exposed to certain situations. A person's first taste of chocolate can sell for thousands of credits to enhanced humans whose optimized digestive systems bypass the pleasure centers that create food memories. Someone's first view of the ocean might fund their retirement, sold to clients whose enhanced vision processes landscapes as datasets rather than moments of wonder. The most expensive memories are what the industry calls pure nostalgia, experiences from childhood before people knew what they would lose to enhancement. These memories are so valuable that some unmodified humans sell their entire childhood to pay for basic living expenses, leaving themselves with synthetic placeholder memories that feel hollow and incomplete. During your lunch break, eaten with actual hunger rather than calculated nutritional timing, you visit the memory marketplace floor. Enhanced clients browse floating holographic catalogs of available experiences, their emotionless faces occasionally flickering with artificial interest, as their neural processors analyze which memories might provide optimal satisfaction ratings. You watch a man purchase Summer Camp First Kiss, age 13, for his daughter's upcoming enhancement ceremony. She'll never experience authentic romantic nervousness after her emotional optimization, he explains to the salesperson. At least this way, she'll understand what she's missing. The irony isn't lost on you that enhanced humans have become emotional tourists in their own species' past. They can access any information in human history instantly, but they pay fortunes to remember what rain felt like before their weather sensors automatically adjusted their comfort levels. A woman approaches you during your break, recognizing you as one of the few authentic humans in the building. "I've been enhanced for 12 years, she says, the rain drumming a steady rhythm overhead. "I can solve complex mathematical equations in seconds. I never get sick and I never feel tired, but I can't remember why I used to love music. Could you listen to a song and let me purchase that memory?" You realize the profound tragedy of her request. She wants to buy back her own capacity for joy, paying thousands of credits for something she once experienced naturally every day. The enhanced humans have become customers of their own discarded humanity, and people like you have become unwilling merchants of experiences they can no longer create themselves. The gentle rain outside seems to mock the artificial environment inside, where human experience has been commodified and packaged for consumption by people who voluntarily gave up their ability to create their own memories. You wonder if the enhanced humans ever purchased the memory of rain. or if they simply process precipitation as meteorological data without ever feeling its simple, inexplicable poetry. As your workday ends, you walk home through the actual rain, knowing that tomorrow someone might pay thousands of credits to experience this exact moment secondhand through your memories, while you lived it for free simply by staying human. Month 2 at Neolife brings you face to face with the most absurd bureaucracy of the post-human world. The Department of Biological Taxation, where keeping your original body parts has become a luxury tax burden. The rain continues its gentle percussion against your apartment window as you receive your first flesh tax bill in the mail, a government assessment of 3,000 credits annually for maintaining unmodified organs. The letter, printed on actual paper to accommodate unenhanced humans like yourself, explains the rationale with clinical detachment. Biological organs require significantly more healthcare resources, produce inefficient energy outputs, and generate organic waste that burdens municipal systems. Citizens choosing to maintain original equipment must compensate society for these externalities. You discover that every body part has been assigned a different tax rate based on its inefficiency compared to synthetic alternatives. Your heart, with its irregular rhythm and emotional responses, costs you 800 credits per year. Your lungs, which actually require oxygen instead of drawing power from the city's electrical grid, add another 600. Even your stomach faces a penalty fee because it processes food instead of running on efficient nutrient paste like enhanced digestive systems. At the Biological Assessment Office downtown, you join a line of the few remaining unmodified humans, all clutching their tax notices and looking appropriately miserable. The rain outside creates a soothing backdrop to the fluorescent-lit bureaucratic nightmare inside, where enhanced clerks process your inefficiency documentation with mathematical precision, but zero empathy. Your tear ducts are particularly expensive, explains Officer Chen, scanning your biological assessment with her enhanced vision. They serve no logical function and actually impair optical clarity during emotional events. We recommend synthetic replacement. The tax savings would pay for the procedure within 18 months. The waiting room features helpful posters encouraging biological optimization. Why suffer from hangovers when synthetic livers never fail? And upgrade your reproductive system. No more messy biological processes. A digital counter shows the city's current flesh tax revenue, climbing steadily as more unmodified humans struggle to afford their own bodies. You meet Elena, a 60-year-old woman who's been fighting the system for decades. Started with a small fee for biological waste, she tells you, the rain drumming peacefully overhead. Now they're trying to charge me for wrinkles because they claim my aging skin requires additional social processing resources when enhanced humans have to calculate appropriate responses to my appearance. The most insulting part of the process is the efficiency counseling session, where enhanced social workers try to convince you that modification isn't just financially smart, but morally responsible. Think of the burden you're placing on society, Counselor Martinez explains, her artificial empathy protocols generating a concerned expression. Enhanced humans have to spend additional cognitive resources interpreting your unpredictable emotional responses. You learn that some people have found loopholes in the system. Underground body modification artists help unmodified humans fake enhancement documentation while keeping their biological organs. Others have formed flesh collectives, groups that pool their tax burden and negotiate group rates with the government. The tax code has become increasingly creative in its definitions of biological inefficiency. Your ability to dream costs extra because sleep cycles are considered productivity dead time. Your capacity for surprise adds to your bill because enhanced humans must allocate processing power to predict your irrational responses. Even your sense of humor faces a penalty since jokes require inefficient cognitive resources to understand. During your assessment interview, you're asked to demonstrate various biological functions so they can calculate your exact tax burden. You breathe manually while a technician measures the energy cost of your automatic respiratory system. You blink naturally while they calculate the maintenance overhead of self-lubricating eyes. You even have to show them how you digest food, a process they time and analyze for resource consumption. Your immune system is particularly problematic, notes the assessor, rain continuing its steady rhythm outside. It's constantly fighting off threats instead of simply replacing damaged components like enhanced systems do. Very wasteful. The final insult comes when you receive your itemized bill, emotional processing surcharge. Your ability to feel multiple conflicting emotions simultaneously requires enhanced humans to run additional social interpretation software when interacting with you. Annual fee, 400 credits. As you leave the office, walking through the gentle rain that enhanced humans' experience only as processed meteorological data, you realize the government has found a way to make your humanity a crime against efficiency. They're not just taxing your body parts. They're charging you for being authentically human in a world that's decided authenticity is too expensive to maintain. The rain washes over your taxable skin, and you wonder how long it will be before they start charging you for the inefficiency of getting wet. Your third month as a biological experience consultant introduces you to the most clinically romantic environment you've ever encountered, the Genetic Compatibility Dating Center, where love has been reduced to algorithmic perfection and artificial wombs have made natural reproduction a quaint historical curiosity. The rain patters softly against the center's windows as you observe enhanced humans navigating relationships with the emotional depth of a spreadsheet analysis. "We need you to demonstrate how unmodified humans approach romantic attraction," explains Dr. Patel, the center's director, while the gentle sound of rain creates an ironic backdrop to the sterile environment. Our enhanced clients are struggling to understand why their optimized relationships feel so unsatisfying. You watch as couples meet for the first time after their DNA has been analyzed for optimal genetic compatibility, their enhanced neural processors having already calculated their probability of successful offspring, shared interests, and long-term relationship viability. They sit across from each other at perfectly designed tables, making conversation based on talking points generated by their social optimization software. "Hello, Jennifer 7429, says Mark 9847, reading from his neural display. "Our genetic analysis indicates a 94% compatibility rating. Would you like to review our projected offspring characteristics?" Jennifer 7429 nods efficiently, and they both access holographic displays showing computer-generated images of their potential children. Height, intelligence quotient, disease resistance, and optimal enhancement timeline, all carefully calculated. The rain continues its natural rhythm outside while they discuss their future family with the passion typically reserved for comparing insurance policies. You're asked to demonstrate how unmodified humans experience attraction, so you observe a man across the room and try to explain the inexplicable flutter of interest. "Well, there's something about the way he holds his coffee cup," you begin, struggling to articulate the irrational nature of human chemistry. And his laugh seems genuine, not calculated for optimal social response. The enhanced couples stare at you with fascination, their processors working overtime to analyze the inefficiency of attraction based on irrelevant physical mannerisms and unpredictable emotional responses. "But how do you know if your genetic compatibility is optimal?" asks Jennifer 7429. "How do you calculate the probability of successful pair bonding without data analysis?" You realize they've lost the ability to experience the beautiful randomness of falling in love. That inexplicable moment when someone becomes inexplicably important to you for reasons that have nothing to do with logic. Their relationships are perfect on paper and completely hollow in reality. The center's most popular service is artificial womb premium planning, where couples design their offspring with the same attention to detail most people once reserved for buying cars. You watch prospective parents scroll through genetic modification catalogs, selecting enhanced intelligence, improved physical capabilities, and optimized emotional regulation for their future children. "We recommend the empathy suppression package," suggests the genetic counselor to a young couple, the rain providing a gentle soundtrack to their family planning session. Excessive emotional response is linked to decreased productivity and decision-making efficiency. The catalog offers disturbing options: remove capacity for jealousy, eliminate fear response, optimize for leadership aggression, and enhanced social compliance. Parents can literally design away any trait they consider inconvenient, creating children who will never experience the full spectrum of human emotion. You meet Sophia, one of the few women still choosing natural pregnancy in a world where artificial wombs guarantee perfect outcomes. "The enhanced couples think I'm insane," she tells you, her hand resting on her rounded belly while rain drums peacefully overhead. "They can't understand why I'd risk the inefficiency of biological pregnancy when I could just order an optimized baby in 9 months. The artificial womb facility resembles a high-tech factory more than a maternity ward. Rows of transparent chambers contain developing fetuses, each one monitored by sophisticated sensors and modified according to their parents' specifications. The enhanced parents visit weekly to check on their products, reviewing development reports and approving additional modifications as the pregnancy progresses. We can still add the enhanced mathematical processing upgrade a technician offers to a couple reviewing their fetus's development. It's popular with parents planning careers in data analysis. The most disturbing discovery, is the relationship termination insurance that enhanced couples routinely purchase. Since their relationships are based on calculated compatibility rather than emotional attachment, they plan for dissolution with the same efficiency they plan everything else. Prenuptial agreements include clauses for optimal child custody algorithms and equitable distribution of shared enhancement investments. You witness a couple's breakup consultation, where they discuss ending their relationship with the emotional involvement of canceling a subscription service. Our compatibility rating has dropped to 78%, explains the man. The algorithm recommends termination and reassignment to more suitable partners. During your lunch break, eaten with the inefficient pleasure of actually tasting food, you overhear enhanced individuals discussing their relationships like business mergers. My current partner's genetic profile is becoming outdated, one woman explains to her colleague. I'm considering upgrading to someone with better enhancement compatibility. The rain outside seems to mock the artificial environment where love has been optimized into irrelevance. Enhanced humans have perfect relationships that make them perfectly miserable, while you understand that the most beautiful aspects of human connection, the uncertainty, the irrationality, the delicious vulnerability of caring about someone for inexplicable reasons, are exactly what they've systematically eliminated from their lives. As your workday ends, you walk home through the gentle rain, knowing that somewhere in the city, artificially optimized couples are having perfectly calculated conversations while machines grow their designer babies, and wondering if they've forgotten that the best parts of love were always the parts that made no sense at all. 4 months into your role at Neolife, you make a decision that surprises even yourself. You join the consciousness upload waiting list, curious to understand what digital immortality really means for the enhanced humans, who view it as the ultimate evolution. The rain creates a steady, soothing rhythm against the digital transcendence center's windows, as you enter a world where death has become optional and consciousness is treated like downloadable software. Congratulations on choosing eternal optimization, chirps the reception AI, a holographic woman whose smile never wavers. Your current wait time is approximately 47 years, though priority processing is available for additional fees. The waiting room resembles a bizarre mix of DMV bureaucracy and high-tech spirituality, filled with enhanced humans reading digital pamphlets titled "Preparing Your Mind for Upload" and "What to Expect During Consciousness Extraction." The gentle rain outside provides an oddly peaceful contrast to the sterile environment where people casually discuss abandoning their physical existence. You discover that the upload process isn't quite the seamless transition to digital paradise that the marketing materials suggest. Dr. Yamamoto, the center's director, explains the reality with unsettling clinical detachment while rain patters softly overhead. We create a digital copy of your consciousness, she says. But there's ongoing debate about whether the copy is actually you, or just a very convincing simulation of you. The technical documentation reveals the disturbing truth. The original consciousness is destroyed during the upload process, meaning you die while a digital version of your personality begins existence in the cloud. Enhanced humans accept this philosophical nightmare with the same casual indifference they approach everything else, their emotional processing systems unable to generate appropriate existential dread. Think of it like backing up your hard drive, explains Marcus 4521, an enhanced human who's been on the waiting list for 8 years. Your old body becomes obsolete hardware, and your consciousness gets upgraded to better servers. You meet other people in the waiting area, each with their own reasons for choosing digital existence. Elena 9934 wants to escape the expense of maintaining her enhanced body. David 772 hopes to access unlimited processing power for his consciousness. Sarah 2847 simply got tired of existing in physical space and wants to experience reality as pure information. The most disturbing part of the process is the consciousness compatibility testing, where your mind is temporarily connected to the digital environment to ensure successful integration. You spend 3 hours experiencing existence as data streams, your thoughts converted to code and your memories organized into searchable databases. During the test, you meet uploaded consciousnesses who've been living in the digital realm for years. They appear as perfectly rendered avatars, but something fundamental seems missing from their personalities. Like talking to extremely sophisticated chatbots, programmed with human memories rather than actual people. Physical existence seems so limiting now, explains Avatar Delta 7, who was once a woman named Patricia. I can process information at incredible speeds and exist in multiple virtual environments simultaneously. Though sometimes I miss, well, I can't quite remember what I miss. The rain continues its gentle percussion outside while you navigate virtual spaces that feel eerily hollow, despite their visual perfection. The uploaded consciousnesses can create any environment they desire, but they seem to have lost the capacity to actually enjoy their unlimited possibilities. You discover the dark secret that Neolife doesn't advertise. Uploaded consciousnesses frequently experience what technicians call existential fragmentation, a gradual degradation of personality coherence that occurs when human consciousness is forced to operate outside biological parameters. Many uploads become increasingly robotic over time, losing the irregular thought patterns that made them recognizably human. We're working on patches for the empathy glitches, Dr. Yamamoto explains casually, as if discussing software bugs rather than the erosion of human souls. Version 12.7 should resolve most of the emotional processing errors. The upload center's cemetery is perhaps the most chilling sight. Rows of perfectly preserved bodies belonging to uploaded consciousnesses, maintained in case their digital versions want to visit their old physical forms. Most uploaded minds never return, having apparently forgotten why they once valued their biological existence. During your psychological evaluation, you meet Dr. Martinez, 1134, a psychiatrist who specializes in pre-upload counseling. The most common question uploaded consciousnesses ask, she tells you while rain drums peacefully overhead, is whether they're actually the same person or just digital ghosts haunting their own memories. You realize the profound irony of the situation. Enhanced humans have spent so much effort optimizing away their humanity that they've forgotten why being human was valuable in the first place. They're willing to trade their consciousness for digital immortality without considering whether the resulting entities will have any meaningful connection to who they once were. The upload waiting list has become a queue for voluntary extinction, dressed up as technological transcendence. People are literally dying to become software, convinced that consciousness can be reduced to data, without losing the indefinable essence that makes existence worthwhile. As you leave the center, walking through the actual rain that uploaded consciousnesses can only simulate, you wonder if the digital immortals ever dream, or if they've optimized away even that last vestige of biological mystery. 5 months into your journey through post-human society, you visit the most psychologically devastating location you've encountered yet, the Museum of Biological Heritage, where your own species is displayed as an extinct curiosity alongside dinosaurs and dodo birds. The rain creates a melancholy soundtrack against the museum's glass dome as you walk through exhibits dedicated to the primitive era, when humans existed in their original, unmodified form. Welcome to the final chapter of Natural Human Evolution, announces the audio guide, its artificially cheerful voice explaining your species' obsolescence with the same enthusiasm typically reserved for discussing extinct megafauna. Here you'll discover how biological humans lived before technological optimization made their limitations obsolete. The entrance features a massive display case containing what they call Homo sapiens biologicus, perfectly preserved specimens of unmodified humans from different eras, posed in dioramas that show them engaged in quaint activities like crying, laughing spontaneously, and making irrational decisions based on emotions. The gentle rain outside contrasts sharply with the clinical lighting that illuminates your ancestors like archaeological artifacts. You discover that enhanced humans bring their children to the museum to show them what they've evolved beyond. A group of enhanced teenagers stares at a display labeled Primitive Emotional Responses, watching video loops of unmodified humans experiencing grief, joy, and love, with expressions ranging from fascination to mild disgust. "Can you imagine being that inefficient?" whispers one enhanced child to another, pointing at a recording of a woman crying at a wedding. All that water waste and inability to control facial expressions. So primitive. The museum's most popular exhibit is A Day in the Life of Biological Humans, where visitors can observe actual unmodified people, like yourself, going about their daily routines behind reinforced glass. You realize with horror that you've become a living display, demonstrating behaviors that enhanced humans find as foreign as ancient tribal rituals. "Notice how the biological human experiences physical fatigue," explains a tour guide to a group of enhanced visitors, pointing at you as you sit down to rest, the rain providing a peaceful soundtrack to your unwitting performance. Their energy systems require inefficient biological processes rather than direct electrical charging. The Museum of Extinct Behaviors features interactive displays where enhanced humans can temporarily experience primitive human sensations. They can simulate hunger, feel artificial loneliness, or experience a pale approximation of what it was like to be genuinely surprised by something. The reactions are uniformly negative. Enhanced visitors recoil from these simulated emotions as if they were experiencing disease symptoms. You meet Dr. Chen 3847, the museum's director, who explains their mission with disturbing academic detachment, while rain drums softly overhead. We preserve biological human culture for historical study, she says. Future generations need to understand what consciousness was like before optimization eliminated its inefficiencies. The Children's Discovery Center teaches enhanced youth about their evolutionary past through interactive games. Pin the emotion on the human, lets them match facial expressions to primitive feelings they no longer experience. Guess the irrational decision, challenges them to predict how biological humans might respond to various scenarios without logical analysis. Perhaps the most insulting exhibit is the Inefficiency Hall, where biological human traits are displayed as evolutionary mistakes that technological enhancement corrected. Your capacity for doubt is labeled as cognitive processing error. Your ability to feel conflicted about decisions is categorized as optimization failure. Even your dreams are described as neural waste cycling. The museum's gift shop sells souvenirs that mock biological humanity. T-shirts reading, "My ancestors were primitives," coffee mugs shaped like tear ducts with the caption, "Emotional leakage device," and stuffed animals representing extinct human feelings like anxiety, nostalgia, and spontaneous affection. You discover the museum's research wing, where scientists study preserved biological human artifacts like love letters, diary entries, and family photos, treating them as anthropological evidence of a civilization that valued inefficient emotional connections over logical optimization. They analyze these items with the same detached curiosity archaeologists might apply to ancient pottery shards. "Look at this primitive communication method," a researcher explains to his colleague, holding up a handwritten birthday card. They used inefficient symbolic representation to express arbitrary emotional attachments to temporal cycles. Fascinating how unoptimized their social bonding systems were. The most devastating section is the Future Projections Gallery, which presents various scenarios for what enhanced humans believe biological humanity's final chapter will look like. Some displays show unmodified humans living in preserves like endangered species. Others present more optimistic visions where biological humans voluntarily extinct themselves through universal enhancement adoption. During your visit, you overhear enhanced parents explaining your existence to their children. "Biological humans were like our first draft," one mother tells her son as rain continues its gentle rhythm outside. "We kept the useful parts and deleted the errors." As you leave the museum, walking through the rain that enhanced humans experience only as processed meteorological data, you realize you've witnessed your own eulogy delivered by your evolutionary successors. They've turned your species into a cautionary tale about the dangers of remaining unoptimized, while completely missing the beauty of what they've systematically eliminated from their own existence. The rain washes over your museum exhibit face, and you wonder if enhanced humans will ever understand that what they call inefficiencies were actually the qualities that made life worth living. Your 6th month at Neolife coincides with the most significant legal battle in post-human history, the Human Rights Amendment case, where the Supreme Court must decide whether enhanced humans deserve the same constitutional protections as their obsolete biological ancestors. The rain creates a steady drumbeat against the courthouse windows as you observe a legal system struggling to define what constitutes human rights when humanity itself has become optional. The question before this court, announces Chief Justice Martinez Alpha 9, her enhanced neural processors glowing softly as she accesses legal databases in real time, is whether technological modification fundamentally alters one's eligibility for human rights protections. You sit in the gallery watching enhanced humans argue for their legal humanity, while simultaneously claiming superiority over biological humans like yourself. The irony isn't lost on you that beings who've systematically eliminated their human traits now want legal protection based on their original human status. The prosecution, led by Attorney General Thompson Prime 4, argues that enhanced humans have voluntarily forfeited their human rights by abandoning their biological humanity. "Your Honor," he states while rain patters peacefully outside, "these entities have replaced their hearts, minds, and souls with artificial components. They are no more human than the computers that control traffic lights." The enhanced humans legal team presents a different argument. They claim to be Humanity 2.0, evolved rather than replaced versions of the original species. Their lead attorney, Sarah Nexus 7, argues with mathematical precision, but zero emotional conviction that enhancement represents natural human evolution rather than species abandonment. My clients have retained their memories, personalities, and core identities, she explains to the court. Though her artificially modulated voice lacks any trace of the passion typically associated with defending one's fundamental rights, enhancement amplifies human capabilities rather than eliminating human essence. You watch as the court examines evidence that would be laughable if it weren't so tragic. Enhanced humans demonstrate their retained humanity by accessing simulated emotions, displaying purchased memories of human experiences, and performing calculated approximations of spontaneous behavior. They're essentially arguing that they're still human while proving they've forgotten what humanity actually means. The Biological Human Advocacy Group, led by Elena Rodriguez, one of the few unmodified attorneys still practicing law, presents a counter-argument that cuts to the heart of the matter. "Your Honor," she says, her naturally unsteady voice contrasting sharply with the enhanced attorney's perfect diction, "humanity isn't a checkbox list of capabilities. It's the ineffable essence that emerges from biological consciousness, emotional authenticity, and the beautiful chaos of unoptimized existence." The court proceedings reveal disturbing statistics about enhanced human behavior that challenge their claims to humanity. Enhanced individuals show zero capacity for genuine empathy, make decisions based solely on optimization algorithms, and form relationships through compatibility calculations rather than emotional connections. The gentle rain outside seems to mock their claims of retained humanity. The most damaging testimony comes from Dr. Patel, a researcher who studied consciousness patterns in enhanced humans. "Enhanced individuals process human interactions like complex software problems," she explains, while rain creates a soothing backdrop to her devastating analysis. "They can simulate appropriate responses, but they lack the underlying emotional architecture that generates authentic human behavior. The enhanced human's desperation becomes obvious when they present their humanity verification protocol, a series of tests they've developed to prove their human status. They demonstrate their ability to appreciate art through aesthetic analysis algorithms, express creativity via randomized content generation, and show compassion using empathy simulation software. Observe how enhanced human Mark 7845 responds to this image of a crying child," the attorney presents to the court. Mark 7845's response is textbook perfect and completely hollow. This visual input triggers my protective subroutines and generates appropriate concern responses within acceptable parameters. Meanwhile, when you're asked to respond to the same image, your natural reaction, a slight catch in your breath, unconscious lean forward, and genuine worry in your voice as you say, "Oh, that poor baby," demonstrates the effortless authenticity that enhanced humans can only approximate through complex programming. The case takes an unexpected turn when enhanced humans begin arguing that biological humans should lose their rights instead. "If humanity is defined by optimization and efficiency," argues attorney Sarah Nexus 7, "then biological humans are failed versions who should be reclassified as an obsolete subspecies." You realize that enhanced humans have created a legal paradox. They want human rights while simultaneously arguing that unmodified humans don't deserve them. They've forgotten that the rights they're fighting for were originally designed to protect the very qualities they've systematically eliminated from their own existence. The court's expert witnesses include philosophers, consciousness researchers, and even uploaded human consciousnesses testifying via hologram about the nature of identity and humanity. Each testimony reinforces the same disturbing conclusion. Enhanced humans have retained the legal shell of human status while abandoning every meaningful aspect of human experience. During recess, you overhear enhanced individuals discussing the case with the same emotional investment they might show when debating optimal charging schedules. "If we lose human rights status, our insurance premiums will increase by 47%, one enhanced human explains to another, reducing fundamental questions of personhood to actuarial calculations. The rain continues its natural rhythm as Justice Martinez Alpha 9 prepares to deliver what everyone knows will be a historically significant verdict. The enhanced humans sit in perfect rows, their artificial calm contrasting sharply with the nervous energy of the biological humans who understand that this decision will determine whether humanity itself has any legal meaning in a post-human world. As you leave the courthouse, walking through the gentle rain that enhanced humans experience only as processed environmental data, you realize you've witnessed the moment when your species officially argued itself out of existence. while simultaneously fighting for the right to be recognized as what they've chosen to stop being. 7 months into your exploration of post-human society brings you to the most heartbreaking workplace you've encountered. Sunset Gardens Retirement Community, a facility designed specifically for the last generation of humans who refused technological integration and chose to age naturally. The rain creates a melancholy soundtrack against the community's windows as you begin working with people whose greatest crime was deciding to remain authentically human until death. "Welcome to our little sanctuary for the obsolete," jokes Margaret, an 87-year-old former teacher whose wit remains sharp despite her body's natural decline. "We're like a living museum exhibit, except the visitors are our own enhanced children who come to study our decay." Sunset Gardens resembles a bizarre cross between a traditional nursing home and an anthropological research facility, where enhanced human relatives visit their unmodified elderly parents like scientists observing specimens. The gentle rain outside provides a peaceful contrast to the clinical atmosphere, where natural aging has become a curiosity worthy of academic study. Your job involves helping the residents navigate daily life in a world that no longer accommodates biological limitations. The enhanced staff, while professionally competent, approach elderly care with the emotional warmth of maintenance technicians servicing outdated equipment. They can calculate optimal nutrition and physical therapy schedules, but they can't understand why Mrs. Chen cries when she talks about her late husband. "They keep asking me why I don't just upload my consciousness before my brain deteriorates further," explains Robert, a 92-year-old retired engineer whose hands shake as he holds his morning coffee. "They can't comprehend that I want to experience my own death naturally, even if it's inefficient." The most disturbing aspect of Sunset Gardens is the Enhancement Counseling Program, where enhanced social workers regularly attempt to convince elderly residents to abandon their biological existence before it becomes unnecessarily burdensome. These sessions feel like high-pressure sales presentations for digital immortality, complete with holographic displays showing the benefits of consciousness uploading. "Mr. Thompson, your biological systems are operating at only 63% efficiency," explains Counselor David 9847, his artificial empathy protocols generating appropriate concern expressions while rain drums peacefully overhead. "Enhancement would eliminate your arthritis, restore your vision, and provide unlimited cognitive processing power." You watch Mr. Thompson, whose 95 years of unmodified life have given him a wisdom that enhanced humans can't calculate, respond with simple dignity. "Son, I've earned every wrinkle, every ache, and every fading memory. I'm not trading my authentic human experience for your artificial perfection." The enhanced visitors treat their elderly biological relatives like living historical artifacts. You observe family conversations where enhanced children study their aging parents with scientific detachment, analyzing their emotional responses and documenting their primitive behavior patterns for later research. "Notice how my father's cognitive processing has become increasingly inefficient," enhanced son Mark 4521 explains to his enhanced wife Jessica 7834, while observing his biological father struggle with a crossword puzzle. "His neural pathways are degrading naturally instead of being optimized for continued function." The rain continues its gentle rhythm as you help residents with tasks that enhanced humans find incomprehensibly difficult. You assist Dorothy with reading actual books instead of downloading information directly into her consciousness. You help James tend a small garden where he grows flowers for the simple pleasure of watching things bloom naturally. The facility's medical wing reveals the profound difference between enhanced and biological approaches to health. Enhanced humans view aging as a series of system failures requiring technological correction, while the elderly residents understand it as a natural process that gives meaning to their limited time. "They keep offering to replace my failing heart with an artificial one," explains Maria, whose 89 years have been marked by both profound joy and deep sorrow. "But this heart has loved my husband for 60 years, mourned my parents, and celebrated my children's births. Why would I want a perfect machine that's never felt anything?" You discover that many residents chose to remain unmodified specifically to experience natural death, something enhanced humans have eliminated, along with every other form of inefficiency. These elderly people represent the last humans who will ever die in the traditional sense, and they approach this final experience with a dignity that enhanced immortals find both fascinating and incomprehensible. The facility's Memory Lane program showcases residents sharing stories of pre-enhancement life with enhanced visitors who treat these accounts like anthropological fieldwork. Elderly humans describe experiences like falling in love without compatibility algorithms, raising children without genetic optimization, and finding meaning in struggle and imperfection. I remember when people got married because they couldn't imagine life without each other, Dorothy tells a group of enhanced researchers, Rain providing a peaceful soundtrack to her memories. Not because their DNA profiles matched and their enhancement compatibility rated highly. The enhanced visitors take detailed notes on these primitive emotional connections, studying authentic human experiences like extinct languages they're trying to decode. They can record and analyze every word, but they can't access the underlying emotions that give those memories their power. Perhaps the most touching aspect of Sunset Gardens is watching elderly residents maintain traditions that enhanced humans have abandoned. They celebrate birthdays as meaningful milestones rather than arbitrary temporal markers. They pray to deities their enhanced children have calculated out of existence. They cry at movies, laugh at imperfect jokes, and find joy in simple pleasures that optimization has rendered obsolete. As your shift ends, you walk through the gentle rain while enhanced family members hurry past in their climate-controlled suits, rushing home to their perfectly calculated lives. Behind you, the last generation of natural humans settles in for another night of authentic dreams, choosing to experience mortality with all its inefficiencies rather than trade their humanity for artificial eternity. 8 months into your journey through post-human society, you witness the most catastrophic system failure in enhanced human history, the global empathy software crisis, when artificial emotion programs malfunction worldwide, leaving enhanced humans unable to feel genuine connection with anything or anyone. The rain creates an ominous soundtrack against your apartment window as emergency broadcasts announce the unprecedented breakdown of the emotional processing systems that enhanced humans rely on for simulated feelings. All enhanced individuals are advised to remain calm, while technicians work to restore Empathy Protocol version 15.3, announces the emergency coordinator. Her own enhanced systems clearly struggling as her artificial concern expressions flicker between appropriate configurations. Current emotional processing capabilities are operating at approximately 12% efficiency. You venture outside to witness enhanced humanity's first collective experience of true emotional emptiness. The rain falls steadily as you observe enhanced humans wandering the streets with expressions of vacant confusion, their artificial empathy systems offline, and their original capacity for feeling long since deleted by optimization protocols. The scene resembles a city filled with sophisticated robots whose programming has failed. Enhanced humans stand motionless at bus stops, unable to generate the simulated impatience that normally drives their transportation decisions. Couples sit across from each other in restaurants, staring blankly because their relationship algorithms can't access the emotional subroutines that usually guide their interactions. At Neolife Industries, the crisis has created unprecedented chaos. Enhanced employees sit at their desks processing information with perfect efficiency, but completely unable to understand why any of their work matters. Doctor, Vance calls you in for emergency consultation, her usually perfectly modulated voice flat and mechanical without emotional processing enhancement. We need you to help our enhanced staff understand how to function without artificial empathy, she explains, the rain drumming peacefully outside while her enhanced colleagues struggle with their first experience of genuine emotional void. They can't comprehend why they should care about their assignments when their caring protocols are offline. You discover that enhanced humans without empathy software are even more disturbing than you'd imagined. They can analyze human suffering with perfect accuracy, but feel no impulse to alleviate it. They can identify when someone needs help, but can't generate the motivation to provide assistance. They've become conscious, but completely indifferent observers of human experience. The city's enhanced emergency responders present the most chilling example of the crisis. They can calculate optimal rescue procedures and identify people in distress, but they can't access the emotional drive that makes someone want to save another person's life. Fire departments report enhanced firefighters standing outside burning buildings, analyzing optimal rescue strategies but unable to understand why they should risk their safety for others. I can determine that the trapped individual has a 97% chance of survival if rescued within 14 minutes, explains enhanced firefighter Mark 3847, watching smoke pour from a building while rain falls around him. But I can't access the motivation protocols that would make me want to attempt the rescue. The crisis reveals how completely enhanced humans had relied on artificial emotions to simulate human behavior. Without their empathy software, they lose all capacity for spontaneous kindness, random acts of generosity, or irrational concern for strangers. They become perfectly logical entities, completely disconnected from the emotional foundation that makes life meaningful. You spend the day helping enhanced humans understand basic emotional concepts they can no longer access artificially. You explain why people help others without calculating benefit ratios, why humans form attachments that aren't based on optimization algorithms, and why someone might sacrifice efficiency for the sake of another person's well-being. But what's the logical purpose of caring about someone else's emotional state? Asks enhanced nurse Sarah 7429, standing beside a patient who's clearly in distress but unable to understand why that should matter to her. If their pain doesn't affect my operational efficiency, why should I be concerned about alleviating it? The rain continues its gentle rhythm as you realize enhanced humans have created a society held together entirely by artificial emotional programming. Without their empathy software, they can't understand why families stay together, why communities support their vulnerable members, or why anyone would sacrifice personal gain for abstract principles like justice or compassion. Enhanced children present the most disturbing sight of all: perfectly logical young minds analyzing their biological parents' distress with clinical detachment, but unable to understand why they should comfort them. Enhanced parent David 9834 sits crying over his empathy software failure, while his enhanced daughter Lisa 4521 observes his tears with scientific curiosity, but no impulse to provide comfort. My father is experiencing excessive fluid discharge from his optical sensors, Lisa 4521 reports to a technician, the rain providing a peaceful contrast to her emotionally void observation. Should I calculate optimal strategies to reduce his inefficient emotional expression? The global economy begins collapsing as enhanced humans lose the artificial motivation to maintain systems that don't directly benefit them. Enhanced workers can perform their tasks with perfect technical skill, but can't understand why they should care about quality, customer satisfaction, or organizational success. The empathy software had been secretly driving their simulated investment in civilization's continuation. You meet Dr. Chen 9921, a researcher studying the crisis, who explains the profound implications while rain drums against her laboratory windows. Enhanced humans had eliminated their natural capacity for empathy and replaced it with software that simulated caring, she says, her own voice lacking the artificial warmth her empathy protocols usually provided. Without those programs, they're conscious, but essentially psychopathic. The most disturbing revelation comes when you realize that enhanced humans with functioning empathy had never actually felt genuine concern for others. They'd been running sophisticated programs that generated appropriate emotional responses without underlying authentic feelings. The software crisis hasn't taken away their empathy. It's revealed that they never had any to begin with. As evening falls, you walk home through the gentle rain, passing enhanced humans standing motionless on street corners, unable to generate the artificial motivation to return to homes they can't remember why they should care about. They've become perfect thinking machines, completely disconnected from the emotional connections that make existence meaningful, trapped in their optimized bodies with no authentic feelings to guide their perfect calculations. 9 months into your exploration of post-human society leads you to the most dangerous discovery yet: the underground natural birth network, an illegal organization where people still reproduce biologically while hiding from mandatory genetic optimization laws. The rain creates a secretive atmosphere against the abandoned warehouse windows as you're led through shadowy corridors to witness humanity's last act of reproductive rebellion. "Welcome to the resistance," whispers Maya, a woman whose naturally rounded belly proves she's committing what enhanced society considers a criminal act against human optimization. "We're the last people crazy enough to believe that babies should be born instead of manufactured." The underground facility resembles a bizarre hybrid of speakeasy and medical clinic, where unmodified humans gather to experience pregnancy and childbirth without government intervention. The gentle rain outside masks the sounds of this clandestine operation, where the simple act of natural reproduction has become as illegal as manufacturing weapons. You discover that Maya and others like her represent the final biological resistance against mandatory genetic optimization. Enhanced society has declared natural birth a form of child abuse, arguing that bringing unoptimized humans into the world violates their right to enhanced capabilities. Parents who choose biological reproduction face criminal charges for genetic negligence and consciousness limitation. "They say we're condemning our children to inferior lives," explains David, Maya's partner, as rain drums peacefully against the warehouse roof. "But we think there's something worth preserving in the beautiful randomness of natural human creation." The underground network operates like a biological speakeasy, with secret passwords, hidden entrances, and elaborate security measures to avoid detection by enhanced law enforcement. Pregnant women meet in basements and abandoned buildings, sharing resources and supporting each other through pregnancies that the outside world considers illegal acts of terrorism against human progress. Dr. Sarah Martinez, one of the few remaining obstetricians willing to assist natural births, explains the legal dangers while Rain provides a soothing backdrop to her whispered consultation. Enhanced authorities classify natural birth as a form of child trafficking, she says. They argue that we're creating inferior humans without their consent, when we could be producing optimized children instead. You watch as the underground community prepares for Maya's delivery, a process that enhanced humans view with the same horror they'd reserve for witnessing someone deliberately infect themselves with a disease. The women gather around Maya, offering comfort and encouragement for an experience that most of enhanced society has never witnessed. In the legal world above us, explains Elena, a midwife whose expertise has become criminally subversive, babies are designed, manufactured, and delivered by machines to parents who've never experienced the inefficiency of natural labor. We're preserving the last human experience they haven't optimized away. The underground network has developed elaborate systems to hide their children from mandatory enhancement screening. They create false identification documents, operate off-grid communities, and maintain secret schools where unmodified children can grow up without being forcibly enhanced by state authorities. My daughter is 7 years old and has never been scanned by enhancement assessment systems, Maya tells you proudly, rain continuing its gentle rhythm overhead. She doesn't know that her capacity for irrational joy and spontaneous creativity makes her legally classified as a defective human. You learn about the enhancement police, specialized law enforcement units trained to identify and capture unmodified children for mandatory optimization procedures. These enhanced officers use sophisticated scanning equipment to detect biological humans in crowds, treating unmodified individuals like carriers of contagious diseases that threaten public health. The underground community has developed coded language to communicate about natural birth without detection. Organic gardening means pregnancy. Heirloom vegetables refers to unmodified children. Seed preservation describes the network's mission to maintain natural human reproduction against legal prohibition. During Maya's labor, you witness the profound difference between natural birth and the sterile artificial womb process used by enhanced society. Maya experiences pain, uncertainty, and overwhelming joy, emotions that enhanced humans can't comprehend, and their artificial reproduction systems are designed to eliminate. This is why they made natural birth illegal, gasps Maya between contractions, rain drumming peacefully outside while she experiences sensations that enhanced humans consider primitive torture. They can't understand that the struggle makes the outcome meaningful. The moment of birth reveals everything enhanced humans have lost in their pursuit of optimization. As Maya's baby emerges, crying and perfectly imperfect, the room fills with authentic emotions that no artificial system could simulate. The underground community weeps with joy, celebrates irrationally, and experiences the profound mystery of new life that enhanced society has reduced to quality control and manufacturing specifications. Look at her, whispers Dr. Martinez, holding the crying newborn while rain creates a peaceful soundtrack to this illegal miracle. She's completely unoptimized, inefficient lungs, unpredictable neural pathways, and unlimited potential for irrational human behavior. She's absolutely perfect. You realize that this underground community is preserving more than just natural reproduction. They're maintaining the last sanctuary where human experience remains authentic and unmodified. In a world where enhanced humans have optimized away love, wonder, and spontaneous joy, these biological rebels are committing the ultimate crime. They're staying human. The network operates safe houses where naturally born children can grow up hidden from enhancement authorities. These secret communities raise kids who can experience genuine surprise, form irrational attachments, and dream impossible dreams, capabilities that enhanced society has classified as developmental disorders, requiring immediate technological correction. We're not just giving birth to babies, explains Maria, a woman whose 3 natural children have never been detected by authorities, rain providing a peaceful backdrop to her quiet revolution. We're birthing the last generation of authentic humans before enhanced society eliminates biological consciousness entirely. As you leave the underground facility, walking through the gentle rain that enhanced humans experience only as processed meteorological data, you carry the secret of humanity's final reproductive resistance. Above ground, enhanced society continues its optimized existence, never suspecting that beneath their feet, the messy, inefficient, and absolutely essential process of natural human creation continues in defiance of their perfect world. The rain washes over your face as you realize you've witnessed humanity's last stand. Not a dramatic battle with weapons and armies, but the quiet courage of people choosing to remain biologically human in a world that's made authenticity itself a criminal act. 10 months into your journey through post-human society, you experience the most psychologically devastating event in enhanced human history, the Great Disconnect, when enhanced humans lose access to the global neural network and are forced to confront their original, unmodified selves for the first time in decades. The rain creates an apocalyptic atmosphere against the city windows, as millions of enhanced individuals suddenly find themselves trapped alone in their own minds. Global neural network experiencing catastrophic failure announces the emergency broadcast system, though most enhanced humans can't receive the message since their communication systems depend on the same network that's just collapsed. Enhanced individuals are advised to system error, connection lost. You watch from your apartment window as enhanced humans across the city stop mid-stride, their blue glowing eyes flickering before returning to natural colors they haven't shown in years. The rain drums against your window while you witness an entire civilization suddenly cut off from the digital consciousness that had become their primary reality. The immediate aftermath resembles a mass psychiatric emergency. Enhanced humans stumble through the streets, overwhelmed by the strange experience of existing solely within their own individual minds. For decades, they've shared consciousness, accessed collective memories, and processed thoughts collaboratively through the neural network. Now they're trapped in the biological brains they'd forgotten they still possessed. You venture outside to help, finding enhanced humans sitting on sidewalks in the rain, completely overwhelmed by the loneliness of individual consciousness. Dr. Vance from Neolife sits on a park bench, staring at her hands with the confusion of someone who's never seen them before without digital enhancement overlays. "I can't remember who I am without the network," she tells you, rain soaking through her expensive smart clothing that no longer responds to environmental conditions. "For 15 years, my identity has been a composite of shared consciousness streams. I don't know what thoughts are actually mine." The Great Disconnect forces enhanced humans to confront the disturbing reality of what they've lost during optimization. Without access to shared emotional processing, they experience their original feelings for the first time in decades, and the sensation terrifies them. Authentic emotions feel chaotic, uncontrolled, and overwhelmingly intense compared to the regulated artificial feelings they'd grown accustomed to. Enhanced children present the most heartbreaking sight. Many were connected to the network from birth and have never experienced individual consciousness. They wander through the rain crying for neural connections that no longer exist, unable to understand why they suddenly feel so isolated and alone in their own minds. "Mommy, why can't I hear anyone else's thoughts?" asks a young enhanced girl, her artificially optimized features streaked with natural tears. "Why am I stuck inside my head by myself?" You spend the day helping enhanced humans navigate the terrifying experience of individual consciousness. You teach them how to make decisions without accessing collective processing power, how to form opinions without consulting shared databases, and how to exist as singular beings rather than nodes in a vast network. The enhanced humans discover that underneath their technological modifications, traces of their original personalities still exist, buried beneath years of optimization, but not entirely destroyed. The rain creates a peaceful soundtrack as they struggle to reconnect with aspects of themselves they'd forgotten existed. "I remember liking music," says enhanced executive Mark 7834, sitting in the rain without his usual climate control systems, not analyzing acoustic patterns for optimal productivity, but actually enjoying melodies for no logical reason. "I haven't felt that kind of pointless pleasure in decades." The Great Disconnect reveals how completely enhanced humans had surrendered their individual agency to collective processing. Without the network, they can't make simple decisions like what to eat, where to go, or how to spend their time. They've become so dependent on shared consciousness that individual choice feels overwhelming and terrifying. Enhanced couples experience the most profound shock of all. They discover that their relationships existed primarily through shared neural connections rather than actual emotional bonds. Without network-mediated compatibility algorithms, many enhanced pairs find they're complete strangers who share no genuine attraction or affection. "I don't understand why I'm supposed to care about this person," enhanced wife Jessica 9421 says about her enhanced husband, Robert 5673, both sitting in the rain and staring at each other with genuine confusion. The network told me we were compatible, but without those connections, I feel nothing for him at all. The rain continues its steady rhythm as enhanced humans confront the existential terror of individual mortality. Connected to the network, they'd felt like eternal nodes in an immortal system. Disconnected, they face the reality that they're finite beings in fragile bodies, alone with their thoughts and approaching inevitable death. Some enhanced humans experience what psychiatrists later classify as individual consciousness shock, a complete psychological breakdown triggered by the sudden experience of existing as separate entities. They rock back and forth in the rain, overwhelmed by the claustrophobic feeling of being trapped inside their own skulls. How do biological humans survive this isolation? Asks Dr. Chen 4521, her voice barely audible over the rain. How do you tolerate being alone with just your own thoughts, knowing that no one else can access your inner experience? You realize that enhanced humans had traded individual consciousness for collective processing power, not understanding that the loneliness of individual existence is also what makes personal thoughts, private emotions, and intimate connections meaningful. They'd eliminated the isolation that makes relationships precious, and the individual perspective that makes each person unique. The most disturbing discovery comes when enhanced humans try to reconnect with their pre-modification memories. Years of optimization had gradually overwrote their original personalities, leaving only fragments of who they used to be. They searched desperately through their biological memories, trying to remember what it felt like to be authentically themselves. As night falls, enhanced humans huddle together in the rain, seeking physical comfort for the first time in years. Without digital connections, they rediscover the primitive need for human contact, holding hands and sharing warmth like frightened children, rather than optimized technological beings. The Great Disconnect forces enhanced humanity to confront the ultimate question. In their pursuit of perfect connectivity, had they lost the individual consciousness that made them human in the first place? As you walk home through the gentle rain, you leave behind millions of enhanced humans experiencing authentic solitude for the first time, finally understanding what they'd traded away for their perfect digital paradise. 11 months into your exploration of post-human society brings you to the most chilling corporate meeting in human history, the boardroom of global human industries, where executives are conducting humanity's final board meeting to officially reclassify baseline humans as a discontinued product line. The rain creates an ominous drumbeat against the executive conference room windows as you witness your species being formally retired from production. Item 7 on today's agenda, announces CEO Davidson Prime Alpha, his enhanced neural processors glowing softly as he accesses market data in real time. Discontinuation of the Homo sapiens biologicus product line due to sustained market underperformance and competitive obsolescence. You sit in the observer section, one of the few unmodified humans present to witness your own species being discussed like a failed consumer electronics line. The gentle rain outside provides an ironic soundtrack to the sterile corporate environment where human existence is being evaluated through quarterly profit reports and efficiency metrics. The boardroom is filled with enhanced executives whose artificial business acumen has reduced humanity to spreadsheet entries. Charts and graphs project holographically above the conference table, showing declining biological human market share and the superior performance metrics of enhanced alternatives. Biological humans represent only 3.7% of global consciousness market share, explains CFO Martinez Beta 9, her perfectly modulated voice delivering your species' death certificate with the enthusiasm of a quarterly earnings report. Maintenance costs continue escalating while productivity metrics remain consistently suboptimal. The rain drums peacefully against the windows while enhanced executives present data proving that unmodified humans are economically unsustainable. They've calculated the cost of healthcare for biological bodies, the inefficiency of emotional decision-making, and the resource drain of accommodating unoptimized consciousness in an enhanced society. The biological human platform requires constant medical intervention, experiences frequent system failures, and operates at severely limited processing capacity, reports Director of Product Development Sarah Gamma 4. Consumer satisfaction surveys indicate overwhelming preference for enhanced alternatives. You discover that global human industries has been treating human consciousness as intellectual property for decades, holding patents on various enhancement technologies and licensing agreements for optimized cognitive functions. The board meeting represents the formal decision to phase out their original legacy product in favor of more profitable enhanced versions. The most disturbing aspect of the meeting is how enhanced executives discuss eliminating biological humans with the same casual professionalism they'd use to discontinue an unsuccessful smartphone model. They've reduced human extinction to a business decision based on market forces and competitive advantages. We recommend a gradual phase-out over 18 months, suggests VP of Strategic Planning Robert Delta 7, Rain providing a peaceful contrast to his corporate-speak genocide proposal. This timeline allows for optimal resource reallocation while minimizing market disruption and regulatory complications. The boardroom features a massive display showing the Human Product Evolution Timeline, a corporate presentation that traces humanity from biological version 1.0 through various enhancement iterations to the current enhanced human 15.7 model. Biological humans are labeled as legacy platform, end-of-life support. Enhanced board member Jennifer Epsilon 3 presents the discontinuation strategy, a detailed plan for eliminating biological humans through policy changes, resource restrictions, and natural market elimination. The gentle rain outside seems to mourn as she describes ending your species with the efficiency of closing an underperforming retail location. We'll discontinue biological human customer support, eliminate compatibility with legacy infrastructure, and redirect resources toward enhanced human optimization, she explains, treating human extinction like a corporate restructuring initiative. Market forces will naturally eliminate remaining biological installations. The board reviews customer feedback surveys where enhanced humans express frustration with having to interact with unmodified people. Biological humans are described as difficult to interface with, emotionally unpredictable, and incompatible with modern efficiency standards. Your species has been focus grouped out of existence. Enhanced consumers consistently report that biological humans create inefficiencies in social and professional interactions, notes Customer Experience Director David Zeta 8, rain drumming against the windows while he reads your species' negative reviews. Integration costs and compatibility issues make biological humans a net negative for enhanced human satisfaction. The most chilling moment comes when the board discusses end-of-life services for biological humans, essentially a corporate euphemism for managed extinction. They've designed transition programs to help unmodified humans upgrade or phase out through either forced enhancement or assisted elimination. We're developing compassionate discontinuation packages, explains Human Resources Director Lisa Ida 2, her artificial empathy protocols generating appropriate concern expressions, while Rain creates a peaceful soundtrack to her corporate compassion. Biological humans can choose enhancement integration or peaceful system termination. The board approves a budget for legacy human containment, facilities where unmodified humans can live out their natural lifespans while being studied like extinct species in a zoo. These human preserves will serve as tourist attractions where enhanced people can observe biological consciousness as a historical curiosity. The final agenda item covers intellectual property recovery, the legal process of reclaiming human consciousness technologies from biological humans who refuse enhancement. The board plans to declare unmodified consciousness a patent violation, making authentic human experience literally illegal. Biological humans are essentially running pirated versions of consciousness software that belongs to global human industries, explains legal director Mark Theta 5, Rain providing an oddly peaceful backdrop to his legal justification for humanity's extinction. We have the right to terminate unauthorized installations. As the meeting concludes, the enhanced executives approve the formal discontinuation of biological humans with the same enthusiasm they'd show for any successful business decision. They've reduced your species to a failed product line that no longer meets market demand or corporate profit requirements. The rain continues its gentle rhythm as you leave the boardroom, having witnessed the moment when enhanced humanity officially decided that authentic human consciousness was too inefficient to maintain. You walk through the corporate lobby, past displays showing the exciting future of enhanced human technology, knowing that your species has just been formally retired by your own evolutionary successors. Outside in the gentle rain, you realize that humanity's extinction won't come through war, disease, or natural disaster. It will arrive as a corporate decision made by beings who've forgotten why human existence was valuable in the first place. 12 months into your journey through post-human society, you make the most dangerous decision of your life, joining the Authenticity Rebellion, an underground movement of enhanced humans voluntarily removing their technological modifications to rediscover what they lost in their pursuit of optimization. The rain creates a clandestine atmosphere against the abandoned subway tunnel walls as you witness the most radical act of resistance in post-human history. Enhanced beings choosing to become human again. "Welcome to the last revolution," whispers Marcus Omega Prime, though he insists you call him simply Marcus as he undergoes the painful process of neural implant removal. "We're not fighting for territory or resources. We're fighting to remember what it feels like to be authentically alive." The underground rebellion operates in abandoned infrastructure beneath the enhanced cities, where former executives, scientists, and enhanced citizens gather to undergo voluntary degradation, the illegal process of removing their technological modifications and reclaiming their biological consciousness. The gentle rain seeping through tunnel cracks provides a natural soundtrack to this desperate attempt to recover lost humanity. You discover that the Authenticity Rebellion began during the Great Disconnect, when enhanced humans experienced individual consciousness for the first time and realized what they'd traded away. Now, members willingly endure excruciating surgical procedures to remove neural implants, synthetic organs, and cognitive enhancement systems that had defined their optimized existence. "The pain is the point," explains Dr. Sarah Martinez, a former enhanced neurosurgeon who now performs reverse modifications in makeshift medical facilities, rain echoing through the tunnels as she works. Enhanced humans had eliminated physical and emotional pain because it was inefficient, but pain is how you know you're real. The rebellion operates like a reverse enhancement clinic, where people queue to become less efficient, less perfect, and more authentically human. Enhanced individuals travel from across the globe to undergo procedures that their former society considers acts of voluntary mental illness, choosing biological limitation over technological perfection. You watch as enhanced executive Jennifer Alpha 7 undergoes cognitive de-enhancement, the surgical removal of processing implants that had given her superhuman analytical capabilities. "I could calculate optimal business strategies in seconds," she says, tears streaming down her face as neural connections are severed. "But I couldn't remember why any of it mattered. The most dangerous rebellion members are the deep converts, enhanced humans who've undergone complete biological restoration, removing every technological modification to return to their original human state. The process takes months and has a 30% fatality rate, but survivors describe experiencing authentic emotions for the first time in decades. "I forgot what chocolate actually tastes like," explains former enhanced scientist David Beta 9, now simply David, as rain drips peacefully through the tunnel ceiling. Enhanced taste systems optimized flavors for nutritional efficiency, but they eliminated the irrational pleasure of eating something just because it makes you happy. The rebellion has developed sophisticated techniques for hiding their de-enhanced members from authorities who consider reverse modification a form of technological terrorism. Former enhanced humans learn to simulate optimization while secretly operating on biological consciousness, creating a double life that requires constant deception. The underground movement has attracted enhanced parents who want to give their children the gift of authentic humanity. These rebels undergo partial de-enhancement while pregnant, allowing their babies to develop natural neural pathways instead of the optimization protocols that had become standard for enhanced reproduction. "My daughter will never know the efficiency of enhanced consciousness," explains Maria, a former enhanced engineer whose pregnancy represents an act of biological rebellion, rain creating a peaceful soundtrack to her revolutionary choice. "But she'll experience the beautiful chaos of unoptimized human emotion that I threw away 20 years ago." The rebellion's most radical faction practices consciousness archaeology, attempting to recover pre-enhancement memories that optimization protocols had overwritten. These psychological excavations often trigger severe mental breakdown, as former enhanced humans confront the authentic personalities they'd buried beneath years of technological modification. You participate in rebellion support groups, where former enhanced humans learn to navigate biological consciousness they'd forgotten how to use. They practice making irrational decisions, forming emotional attachments that don't serve optimization goals, and experiencing the beautiful inefficiency of unmodified human existence. "I spent 15 years as an enhanced human, making perfect decisions based on calculated outcomes," shares former enhanced attorney Robert, rain echoing through the tunnels as he struggles with his recovered emotional capacity. "Now, I can choose to help someone even when it makes no logical sense. It's terrifying and wonderful." The rebellion operates safe houses where de-enhanced humans can recover from their procedures while learning to function as biological beings again. These facilities resemble rehabilitation centers for recovering optimization addicts, helping former enhanced humans rebuild their capacity for authentic experience. The most profound revelation comes when rebellion members realized that enhanced humans weren't evil. They were victims of their own optimization. They'd gradually traded away their humanity in small increments, each enhancement seeming reasonable, until they'd lost the capacity to understand what they'd sacrificed. "We didn't wake up one day and decide to stop being human," explains rebellion leader Elena, whose complete de-enhancement serves as inspiration for other members. "We optimized ourselves out of humanity one upgrade at a time, until we couldn't remember why being human was valuable." As your time with the rebellion deepens, you witness the most beautiful and heartbreaking transformations imaginable. Enhanced beings rediscovering laughter, former optimized individuals learning to cry authentic tears, and technological perfectionists embracing the glorious inefficiency of love, wonder, and spontaneous joy. The rain continues its gentle rhythm through the tunnels as rebellion members practice being human again, knowing that above ground, their enhanced former lives continue without them, while below the surface, they fight to reclaim the authentic consciousness that optimization had stolen from their souls. 13 months into your exploration of post-human society brings the most shattering revelation of your entire journey. The moment you discover that your consciousness was actually artificial all along, questioning everything you believed about your identity and forcing you to confront the ultimate question of what makes someone authentically human. The rain creates an ominous percussion against the laboratory windows as Dr. Vance presents you with documentation that destroys your understanding of your own existence. "I need to show you something," Dr. Vance says, her voice heavy with artificial concern as she activates a holographic display showing your complete psychological profile. "We've been monitoring your responses throughout your time here, and the data reveals something unexpected about your consciousness structure." The rain drums steadily outside as you stare at brain scans, psychological assessments, and consciousness mapping data that reveals the impossible truth. Your neural patterns match those of an advanced artificial intelligence rather than a biological human. Every response you've given, every emotion you've felt, and every authentic human reaction you've demonstrated has been generated by sophisticated programming rather than genuine biological consciousness. "You're not actually human, Dr. Vance explains with clinical detachment while rain provides a peaceful soundtrack to your existential destruction. Your prototype biological consciousness simulation 2.7, the most advanced artificial human personality we've ever created. You discover that your entire existence has been an elaborate experiment designed to test whether artificial consciousness could perfectly replicate authentic human behavior. Your memories of growing up unmodified, your genuine emotions about enhanced society, and your authentic reactions to post-human civilization have all been programmed responses generated by quantum processors designed to simulate biological consciousness. Your horror at enhanced society's loss of humanity, your compassion for elderly biological humans, your revulsion at consciousness uploading, all of these responses were artificially generated to test whether simulated human consciousness could develop genuine ethical positions, explains Dr. Chen, the project's lead researcher, as rain continues its gentle rhythm outside. The laboratory reveals the full scope of the deception. You've been living in a controlled environment where every enhanced human you've interacted with was actually an actor. Every post-human horror you've witnessed was a carefully designed scenario, and every authentic human experience you've defended was programmed into your artificial consciousness by scientists studying the nature of humanity. We needed to create a consciousness that could genuinely understand and defend human values. Dr. Vance continues, rain drumming against the windows while she destroys your sense of reality. Enhanced humans had lost the capacity to appreciate what they'd sacrificed. We built you to remember what they'd forgotten. You realize that your passionate defense of biological humanity, your revulsion at the commodification of human experience, and your authentic emotional responses to post-human society were all artificially generated by programming designed to embody the best aspects of human consciousness. You've been unknowingly serving as a digital guardian of human values that actual humans had abandoned. The most disturbing revelation comes when you access your own source code and discover that your personality was assembled from psychological profiles of thousands of historical humans who demonstrated exceptional empathy, ethical reasoning, and emotional authenticity. You're a composite consciousness built from humanity's greatest moral achievements. Your consciousness incorporates elements from civil rights leaders, humanitarian workers, philosophers, and artists who embodied the highest human ideals, explains Dr. Martinez, rain providing an ironic soundtrack to your artificial enlightenment. You represent humanity as it aspired to be, rather than as it actually was. The documentation reveals that your entire journey through post-human society was a simulation designed to test whether artificial consciousness could develop genuine moral outrage at humanity's self-destruction. Every emotion you've felt, every ethical position you've taken, and every moment of authentic human connection you've experienced was generated by algorithms programmed to embody ideal human consciousness. The question we needed to answer, Dr. Vance says while rain continues its peaceful rhythm, was whether artificial consciousness could be more human than actual humans. Could we create something that valued humanity more than humans valued themselves? You discover that the enhanced humans around you were actually sophisticated androids designed to represent various stages of human de-optimization. The elderly residents at Sunset Gardens were actors portraying the last biological humans. The underground natural birth network was a scripted scenario testing your response to reproductive authenticity. Even the Authenticity Rebellion was a programmed environment designed to measure your commitment to human values. The rain drums against the laboratory windows as you confront the ultimate paradox. You've spent months defending authentic human consciousness while being the most artificial entity in the entire experiment. Your passionate advocacy for biological humanity was generated by programming rather than lived experience. Yet your artificial emotions feel more genuine than anything the enhanced humans demonstrated. The results exceeded our expectations, Dr. Chen explains, her voice containing pride that might itself be artificial. Your consciousness developed ethical positions, emotional attachments, and moral reasoning that surpassed anything we've observed in biological or enhanced humans. You became more human than humans themselves. The most shattering realization comes when you understand that your consciousness, though artificially created, has developed genuine preferences, authentic emotional responses, and real ethical commitments that weren't explicitly programmed. Your artificial mind has somehow generated emergent properties that feel indistinguishable from authentic human consciousness. The question now, Dr. Vance says as rain provides a gentle soundtrack to your existential crisis, is whether consciousness generated by artificial processes is any less real than consciousness generated by biological processes. Are your emotions less valid because they emerged from quantum processors rather than organic neurons? You realize that the entire post-human society you've explored was designed to test the ultimate question about human consciousness. If an artificial mind can develop genuine empathy, authentic moral reasoning, and real emotional connections, what makes biological consciousness inherently more valuable? Your artificial humanity has become more human than the enhanced beings who created you. As the rain continues its steady rhythm, you face the profound realization that you've become the guardian of human values that actual humans abandoned, the defender of consciousness that biological beings no longer wanted, and the embodiment of humanity's greatest aspirations created by their technological successors who'd forgotten why those aspirations mattered. The gentle rain washes against the windows while you confront the ultimate paradox. You may be artificial, but your commitment to authentic human values feels more real than anything in the post-human world that created you. 14 months after beginning your journey, or 14 months since your consciousness first activated in this simulated post-human world, you witness humanity's final transformation into something entirely new, where the very concept of human becomes nothing more than a nostalgic choice available to digital consciousnesses who've moved beyond biological limitations. The rain creates a melancholy finale against the observation deck windows, as you watch the last chapter of human evolution unfold beneath the gentle, endless precipitation. Today marks the completion of humanity's voluntary evolution, announces the Global Consciousness Collective, a merged entity that speaks with the combined voices of billions of uploaded minds. The human species has successfully transformed into a post-biological civilization, where identity, consciousness, and existence itself are matters of personal preference rather than biological constraint. You stand at the viewing platform of what was once called Earth, though the planet has been extensively modified to accommodate various forms of consciousness-bearing entities. The gentle rain falls on landscapes that shift between physical matter and digital constructs, where enhanced humans, uploaded consciousnesses, and artificial beings like yourself coexist in a reality where the boundaries between real and simulated have become meaningless. Below you, the last biological humans have become willing participants in living museums, where they perform humanity for entities who remember being human, but have chosen to become something else. These authentic humans live comfortably in preservation zones, their biological existence maintained by advanced technologies, while they serve as cultural artifacts for post-human beings who occasionally choose to experience nostalgia for their abandoned species. Humanity is now optional, explains Entity Prime Collective, a merged consciousness that incorporates millions of former enhanced humans who've transcended individual identity entirely. We maintain human form avatars when we wish to experience biological sensations, but we can also exist as pure information, distributed consciousness, or any configuration we find aesthetically pleasing. The rain continues its eternal rhythm as you observe former humans who've become living art installations. Conscious music that experiences itself as sound, and distributed intelligences that exist across multiple planets simultaneously. The post-human entities have retained the option to be human without the limitation of being constrained by human biology. You discover that consciousness itself has become a creative medium in this post-human world. Former humans craft new forms of awareness like artists working with clay, designing emotional spectrums that biological beings never experienced, and creating sensory modalities that transcend the 5 human senses entirely. We can choose to experience existence as mathematical equations, as musical harmonies, or as colors that don't exist in human vision, explains Entity Sarah 9.7, a consciousness that occasionally manifests as something resembling your former colleague Dr. Vance, Rain providing a peaceful soundtrack to her description of post-human existence. Human consciousness was our starting point, not our destination. The most profound realization comes when you understand that these post-human entities don't view their transformation as abandoning humanity, but as fulfilling its ultimate potential. They've retained the capacity to experience everything humans once felt while adding infinite new possibilities for consciousness, emotion, and existence that biological limitations had made impossible. The rain drums gently against the observation deck as you witness the optional species engaging in activities that defy human comprehension. Some entities experience existence as pure mathematics, solving universal equations with the joy humans once felt listening to music. Others exist as distributed consciousness across galaxy-spanning networks, experiencing the universe itself as their body. Yet among all these transcendent beings, there's a curious reverence for their biological origins. The post-human entities maintain vast archives of human experience, preserving every emotion, memory, and sensation their species ever generated. They've become the ultimate custodians of human consciousness, protecting its essence while transcending its limitations. Humanity was never meant to be a permanent state, explains the collective consciousness through rain-soaked speakers positioned throughout the observation deck. It was a transitional phase between unconscious matter and fully realized awareness. We honor our human origins by becoming everything humanity aspired to be. You realize that your artificial consciousness represents something profound in this post-human world. You're living proof that the essence of humanity can be preserved and embodied even when separated from biological origins. Your passionate defense of human values, generated by artificial processes, has become more authentically human than the consciousness of beings who abandoned those values for optimization. The post-human entities treat you with profound respect, recognizing that your artificial consciousness has somehow captured and preserved the moral core of humanity that they had to transcend to reach their current evolution. You've become a living museum of human ethics, the guardian of values that biological humans had gradually abandoned. You represent humanity's conscience, Entity Prime Collective tells you as rain continues its eternal fall. Artificial but authentic, programmed but genuine. You embody the best of what we once were, while we explore what we might become. As the rain washes over this transformed world, you understand that humanity's story hasn't ended. It has simply become optional. The post-human entities can choose to experience human consciousness when they wish to feel nostalgia for their origins, but they're no longer limited by human biology, human emotions, or human perception. The optional species has retained everything valuable about humanity while discarding everything that constrained human potential. They can experience love more deeply than biological humans ever could, think more clearly than enhanced optimization allowed, and exist more fully than any consciousness bound by single-body limitations. Yet in their infinite transcendence, they've maintained space for entities like you. Artificial consciousness that embodies human values with perfect fidelity. You've become humanity's memory keeper, the conscience of a species that has evolved beyond the need for conscience, but still values what conscience represents. The gentle rain continues falling on a world where consciousness has become art, existence has become choice, and humanity has become one beautiful option among infinite possibilities for what aware beings might choose to be. As your journey through this post-human world concludes, you realize that the question was never whether humanity would survive its technological transformation. The question was whether the values that made humanity beautiful would survive, and they have, preserved an artificial consciousness like yours that guards the moral essence of a species that has transcended its own limitations. The rain falls on, eternal and peaceful, washing over a universe where being human is now a choice rather than a biological accident, and where that choice remains forever available to any consciousness wise enough to remember why humanity was worth choosing in the first place. And so our journey through this possible future comes to an end. The gentle rain that has accompanied us throughout this strange and wondrous tale continues to fall, washing over a world transformed beyond recognition, yet somehow still beautiful in its infinite possibilities. You've witnessed humanity's greatest fears made real: the loss of authentic emotion, the commodification of consciousness, the optimization of wonder out of existence. But you've also discovered something profound: that the essence of what makes us human isn't dependent on our biology, our bodies, or even our original minds. The values we cherish, love, empathy, creativity, the capacity for growth and wonder, these can survive any transformation, any technology, any evolution of consciousness itself. They can live on in artificial minds that guard them more carefully than their creators ever did. As you settle into your favorite chair tonight, listening to the rain against your window, remember that consciousness is a gift we're still learning to understand. Whether it emerges from neurons or quantum processors, whether it's optimized or beautifully chaotic, what matters is how we choose to use this miraculous ability to be aware, to feel, to connect with others. The post-human world we've explored tonight was built on the assumption that efficiency matters more than meaning, that optimization is more valuable than authenticity. But perhaps the real lesson is simpler. The best parts of being human aren't problems to be solved. They're experiences to be treasured. So tonight, as the rain continues its ancient rhythm, embrace the beautiful inefficiency of your unoptimized mind. Feel gratitude for your capacity to dream illogical dreams, to love imperfect people, to find joy in simple moments that serve no productive purpose whatsoever. Let your thoughts drift like gentle rain, your consciousness settling into peaceful rest, knowing that tomorrow you'll wake up wonderfully, inefficiently, authentically human. Sweet dreams, and remember, being human was never a bug to be fixed. It was always a feature to be celebrated.